let's get messy. And let's talk about MAGA Barbie, whose husband apparently wants to be one of the dolls. So we got Kristi Noem out here getting all that shit injected in her face so that way she could look like a doll, a Barbie doll, whatever the case is. The only difference is she got to get the rest of the work done, meaning the big titties and all that other stuff. So now her husband had to go online to your local pleasure chest and get the big chesticles so he could live out his Jimbo fantasy. So anyway, I know y'all probably know all the details and everything that came out regarding the whole situation. Daily Mail did an expose behind a paywall. I wasn't paying for it, but I'm glad all the other blogs and everything else, I was able to get around it and read the article and all this other stuff. But yeah, they was trying to do a whole paywall where they exposed her husband as having this secret life of bimbofication, which was something I never even knew existed or heard of. But there's a fetish for everybody out here out in these streets. And I'm not judging, but because as y'all know, I am sex positive. I've always been a sex positive person. The problem I have, and the one I want to talk about, and the one thing I always will expose is a damn hypocrite. And that's what we about to do with this situation, because y'all can't be the party of family values and the party of conservatism and put up this whole facade and image and build your whole political career around conservatism and family values and discriminate against anybody that don't fit in the confines of the white picket fence and all the other stuff. But then you up in here allegedly cheating on your husband. We don't get into that story. And now your husband out here walking around with fake titties trying to live out his drag race fantasy, thinking he me a star with the big old breastplate. So let's get into it. So former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, as we like to call her MAGA Barbie, has responded to revelations that her husband Bryon Noem frequently engaged in online bimbofication fetish content. Now, in a statement to the New York Post, reps for Kristi Noem said Miss Noem is that wait, why is she MS Noem? First of all, it should be MRS, because if you married, you're Mrs. Noem. But I guess you misknown when you out here spreading your bony ass legs for another man. That ain't your husband. They said Miss Noem is devastated. The family was blindsided by this, and they asked for privacy and prayers at the time. First of all, I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm like, you knew. Y'all all know what's going on in y'all families and this, that, and the other. Just like I'm sure he is aware of your affair that's been going on for a long time. Y'all been married for over 30 some more years. You don't be married to somebody for that long and don't know the tea on what y'all be doing. Plus, I'm sure she was probably noticing a lot of Amazon packages coming up in the house with these big old titties. And if y'all think these pictures is fake, they're not AI. These are actual photos that was exposed on social media. I know it's hard for a lot of people to believe that this might be April Fool's, fake on what fake news, whatever the case is. First of all, I find it quite hilarious that this story dropped yesterday when it was the Trans Day of Visibility. So y'all be out here hating on the trans, and now he out here cross dressing, and that's when y'all decide to drop the tea. So shout out to y'all, messy Daily Mail. So now they said on Tuesday, the Daily Mail reported that Bryon Noem, who has been married to the recently demoted Department of Homeland Security Secretary, damn y'all old, since 1992, has been a frequent participant in online fetish chat rooms and sent over $25,000 on digital payments to the women he was chatting with. They said digital payments. Does that mean coins? And you saying fetish chat rooms. Was you on Chatterbait, sir? Now, if y'all don't know what Chatterbait is, Google is your friend. That's all I'm gonna say. I told you, there's a fetish out there for everybody. So, sir, you be on Chatterbait basically wearing breastplates and beating your meat, and giving people tokens. Is this what we doing out here in these streets? Yeah, I'm exposing it all. Now, What else is that? Oh, they said the Daily Mail obtained a trove containing thousands of text messages as well as photos of Mr. Noem role playing. Many of them produced while Noem was serving as President Donald Trump's in his cabinet. Bimbofication is a role playing kink centered around exaggerated hypersexual femininity in order to embody stereotypical bimbo: big boobs, big butts, full lips, and no intellect. Well, basically, that's basically married. Now, as author and podcaster Tina Horn writes of bimbofication in her book, "Why are people into that?" question mark. Sometimes you don't want to be a fully integrated self. Wait. It says sometimes you don't want to be a fully integrated self during sex. Bimbofication offers a clear delineation between child. I'm sitting there gagging over what they talking about. Let me get serious here. Bimbofication offers a clear delineation between the moaning, the coming, uninhibited sex object you dream of being, and the mild-mannered alter ego you have to be the rest of the time. So they're basically saying that you have dreams of being this. Now, no shade. I gave a gander at Miss Noam's husband. Miss Holmes, Miss Noam, your husband Byron got full on gay face. Now, I don't know if y'all know what that is, but there's certain people when you look at them in the face, like, you're a faggot. I definitely give that. He definitely gives that vibe. There's another one too. What's his name? The one that go by the initials BJ, the conservative. He definitely got gay face too. So, um, I truly believe that I believe every single word of this. Now it kind of makes me wonder: is he low key trans? Like, does he have is he trans attracted? Like, or does he have fantasies of he wants to be trans, but doesn't have the cojones to be his true authentic self? These are things that I'm worried about, especially with the the explanation where they said bimbofication offers a clear delineation between the moaning, the coming, uninhibited sex object you dream of being, and the mild mannered alter ego you have to be the rest of the time. So he has to put on this facade of like, I'm the alpha male and the white picket fence, and I gotta provide for the wife and all this other stuff. And you've been married to her since the 90s. And you know in the 90s, when the 90s was not too kind to people, especially if you were part of the Levitical plus community. We had the AIDS Holocaust. We had a lot of discrimination going on against gay, queer people. So a lot of times, a lot of men who have those tendencies, whether or not you're same sex attracted or you have feelings of you don't feel like you in the right body, but because you're a white male, and you have all this, hierarchy, patriarchy, whatever you want to call it, that you have to live up to certain things. Where it's like, by this age, you have to graduate. By this age, you have to get this type of job. By this age, you have to get married. By this age, you have to have the children. By this age, you got to have the white picket fence and the 2 cars and the dog. Oh, we should mention dogs when it comes to the gnomes. But when it comes down to the situation, it's like this is you have to live up to this certain all American white picket fence facade that a lot of society has perpetuated and bestowed upon people. And so I've always said that every projection is a confession. When you go after other people because they're out here willing to live their best life and do all the things that they want to do, you're mad at the LGBTQIA plus community because they're out here able to live their life freely and live how they want to live, or they want to let their freak flag fly. And a lot of you don't have the balls to do it. And I'm like, if you want to go in the confines of your own home and do whatever kind of kinky shit that you want to do, that's on you. I just don't like a hypocrite. And so that's what we're doing here. We're exposing hypocrites. So let me get back into the tea. So then he said, you might not want to literally look at act like a dumb blonde in bed, but the dumb blonde can be a marvelous symbol of something many of us want to be. Someone whose simple existence is dedicated only to being admired and enjoying herself. The Mail released a series of photos following Mr. Noem with large inflated balloons under his shirt with the ties positioned on up outwards as if to suggest nipples. You turned me into a girl, Mr. Gnome said in one exchange with a model. He asked about her breast implants. The report became the subject of widespread online mockery. The official account for the Democratic Party joked that it was cute. They both like to dress up, referencing Noem's habit of wearing almost costume-ish get-ups for many of her public appearances. Wow, well, I feel badly for the family. If that's the case, that's too bad, President Donald Trump told the Daily Mail in a child, please. I know he not, well, he's gonna tiptoe around the situation because he got his own situations he got to be dealing with, his own little weird fetishes and the things. If you know about what was in them Epstein files, we already know how that man leaned. So now Trump ousted Noem from her position as Homeland Security Secretary earlier this month amid a torrent of controversy. The firing came shortly after Noem appeared before Congress, where she was grilled about her lavish spending on DHS marketing campaigns centered around her own public image. Noem was also questioned, and this was what gagged me because I remember I was seeing these clips resurfacing recently, and her husband was right behind her when they were grilling her about her alleged affair with former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski. Now, in an apparent attempt to demonstrate the strength of her marriage, Noem pointed out that her husband had accompanied her to the Capitol and was seated just behind her. Ma'am, you really think we dumb? Like we don't know what optics look like or perception? And the fact that, yeah, your husband could be there and y'all could be putting on a united front, but behind closed doors, the situation is different. So we're not going to sit up in here and try to pretend like oh, because your husband was there, that, oh no, it's nothing to see here, look over there. Like, come on now, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. And that's what a lot of these people that work in these departments do. So look, as I said before, I want to preface this by saying that in no way, shape, or form am I judging someone for having a personal kink. As y'all, if you've been following me for a while now, whether recently, if even if you haven't, I'm gonna just say this: I am someone who is pro sex. I am a sex positive person because it's like I got my own kinks and stuff that I like to, and I have disclosed it on social media and possibly in here too. And it's like ain't no shame in my game. But um, my issue is the hypocrisy regarding people like Kristi, who has carved out an entire political career as a religious conservative crusader against the Levitical community and immigrants. Now, this is a woman who wrote a book gloating over pow-powing her dog for attacking her neighbor's chicken and biting her, and then gloating that she took one of her goats and shot. No, she wasn't feeling her goat. She pow-powed her goat. And this is also the same woman who lied about meeting with Macron and pretended to stare down Kim Jong Un as if she's some damn alpha female. She also, I just found it funny that she got all that silicone injected in her face to look like an overblown Barbie doll and forgot to get the tits to match since she's shaped like a prepubescent boy. So he had to resort to buying triple F size titties online because physically his wife wasn't living up to the private fantasies in the bedroom. So while she's out here allegedly spreading her bony ass legs for Corey Lewandowski, her husband is busy online ordering jumbo-sized breastplates from the pleasure chest while pleasuring himself online with hookers. I just wish, at the end of the day, these so-called family values conservatives who make it a mission to tell sex positive people how to live their lives would worry less about what others are doing in their own bedrooms and would just come to terms with who you really are as human beings. But because you are filled with so much shame and guilt, you feel it's easier to judge others who have the cojones to show up as their authentic selves. So now, does this mean that Byron might be closeted and wants to become Brianna? Who knows? And if people think that men who are married to women don't have trans tendencies, I got two words for y'all: Caitlyn Jenner. So, no, Kristi, you don't get thoughts, prayers, and privacy because your husband's secret kink was exposed. I'm going to give you the same amount of grace that you've given the immigrants, the queers, and people of color. So, with all that being said, I feel like I said all I need to say in this situation, but I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this messy story regarding these hypocrites up in this regime who likes to sit and point fingers at everybody else on what they doing? But I always say that one finger you pointing at the people, the other four you're pointing at yourself. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.